You said Hollywood elite. You're from Ohio.
I'm from Springfield, Ohio. My father was a factory worker. My mother was a housewife. We grew up knowing what it's like to need a manufacturing job, knowing what it's like to struggle from week to week to do what you need to do for your family. And so me fulfilling my dreams as a musician, as a producer, and all the other things that I'm doing, I do not forget what it's like to be the son of Ronald and Phyllis Stevens in Springfield, Ohio.
See, the reason I think that's important because, you know, I can still smell the stench of my dad's work boots, jeans, and hard hat. Worked for Amtrak. Mom, insurance claims, sat in the office 8 hours a day. Both of them never made a combined $50,000 a year, had 5 kids. Yet, during this election and really after, when all I kept hearing was working class, they were really saying white working class.
We were talking about the white working class.
I said, wait a minute. That's my experience. Mom and dad never went to college. And so it was bothersome to me. It was as if black working class folks didn't exist. And then because of what I had been able to do because of them, it's, oh, no, you can't speak to this issue. But I'm going, no, that's my life too.
And Hillary actually won people that made under $50,000 a year. The whole idea of her losing the working class was simply referring to the white working class. But if you put the entire working class together, she won. And I think a lot of times, for some reason, even in previous elections, hard-working Americans was referring to white working class.
Real America.
Real America is, you know, towns with no black folks in it. When real America is diverse, it looks more like our cities than it looks like our rural towns. That's real America, if you look at the numbers. But often, real America means white. Real America means conservative. Real America means gun-toting to a lot of people. But we know that real America is a much more diverse place than that.
What I think is happening here is that we're dealing with white fear. That America is changing. All of a sudden, we're seeing what's happening. All these folks with Black Lives Matter, they're out there without realizing that they're out there actually fighting for rights that also impact you. When they see young folks, when they see women, it's the exact same thing. It is fear of a changing America. And Trump was pushing that, was touching that by saying, Giuliani even said, Trump is our last hope. You're going, wait a minute, what do you mean last hope?
There was this fear that white men were losing their control of the country. And that fear, I think, drove Trump. It drove a lot of the conservative movement, the Tea Party movement. Every time we've seen advances in American history, we've seen some of that backlash before. We saw it after the Civil War. We saw it after the Civil Rights Movement. We saw it...
Black success always followed by white backlash.
Yes. We saw it now with the election of the first black president. So we've seen this backlash. The good news is that over time, progress has always won. But that doesn't mean there won't be a cost to this backlash. And this backlash may cost lives. It may cost some people justice and peace. And we should be worried about that. But I do believe that progress is going to win.
How do we bring these various worlds together to make folks realize you don't have to be fearful, but understand that you're the same economic condition as that brother or sister who's in the inner city? I keep saying broke is broke.
Yes, and if we could come together in a real alliance of the working class that says we want good working conditions for all of our workers, we want well-paying manufacturing and construction and other jobs that have been kind of depleted in the last 20 years. If we come together and say we want a strong social safety net, make sure everyone has access to health care, make sure everybody has whatever they need to feed their family and live a decent life, better schools for everybody. Nobody has to lose in that. No race has to lose. It doesn't need to be you get it and we don't, or we get it and you don't. We can all get this together. We can all win together. It doesn't need to be zero sum. And, you know, I think Dr. King was trying to do that at the end of his life, was bring poor folks together, working folks together. And that's kind of the dream, is that we can all come together and say we want a better life, a better country for all of us, regardless of the color of our skin, and come together and fight for that. But politicians have been successful at dividing us and saying and creating fear among us, saying that if this guy wins, you can't win too. And that's not really how it works. All of us can do well together.
A peaceful protest turned deadly. 37-year-old black man was shot and killed by Baton Rouge police. Your hands are in the air, and you still get shot by the cops.
Oh my God, please don't tell me he's dead.
We're not gonna let hate define us.
Race is a big part of this.
If truly all lives matter, then all lives need to matter equally.
What we require is action. What we require is accountability. We understand that black lives do matter, and we will keep focused on this issue.
NewsOne Now, every weekday morning at 7 on TV1.